Hey, welcome back everyone. Bits and Pieces here yet again. Thanks so much for checking out my channel and watching my videos. I really do appreciate the love and support. You've probably been seeing a lot of my tracks going up on my channel. If you like them, really, just leave some feedback. Let me know what you think. Or if you don't like them, let me know what you think I can do to improve on them. I'm always looking for good criticism. So I know it's been a while since I posted anything, but I figured what I'd like to do today for this video is really talk about repetition in tracks and how repetition can work in your favor, even though it's not always guaranteed. It is something that can enhance a track and really add to a certain mood or vibe that you're trying to get your track to do. So with that, let's jump right in. All right, so here's one example of how repetition can work in your favor. I'm going to go into this one here. One of the things you're going to notice is a lot of the tracks that I have named here are not the same as what I have up on my YouTube channel. I don't really put names on here. I usually name them after the fact at the final product. But anyhow, let's go into this one. I'll load that up real quick. So that's really how the song's going to start. But give this a quick listen and you're going to hear this pretty much throughout nearly the entire track. Alright, so just that one segment I keep throughout the entire track, and it works. It's not guaranteed to work for every track that I make, but this is one of those instances where I was able to use this and it worked to my advantage. Moving on to the next example, let's take a look at something a little bit more old school. So I'm working on an album where the challenge is to only use 8-bit sounds. It's okay if I add a little bit of effects to make them maybe a little bit more echoey and things like that, but I can't use any other chips other than those 8-bit samples. So let's take a look at this one here. Load that up real quick. Perfect. And this sound here you're going to hear throughout the entire track. Let's see how I make that work. Alright, so you get the gist, and it works. So throughout the entire track, you hear that one riff, and I'm just layering things on top of it to make it work. Again, it took a lot of effort, but it wasn't impossible. So anything really is possible if you really put your mind and creativity to it. So I showed you a couple of examples on how repetition can work in certain tracks, and in these instances I think they worked quite well, and you might find yourself in those situations where having the same riff over and over again and just adding a couple of layers to that can actually really enhance your track and get that overall mood or vibe that you're trying to get it. That is never guaranteed. In some cases you may listen to something and say, can I change this ever slightly again to avoid it from sounding too bland or monotonous? That's really important. But what happens if there is a riff on one track and you want to try to carry it over to the others? Is that possible? Well, let's just take a look. This example is going to be a little bit shorter, only because I'm actually going to show you 3 different tracks. But pretty much what I'm working on is a project called The Forgotten Legend, and it's actually a soundtrack for an RPG that doesn't exist. You've probably seen a couple of these tracks up on YouTube already, but again, just for the sake of this tutorial, we'll go through it. So let's go to the first track here. Let's just give it a listen. Alright, so you hear this initial, that's the riff, and I want to carry that over, and that was part of my project idea, is to carry this main part into other tracks. Let's see what we can do with that real quick. So we're going to go right up back here. We're going to load up another song, which is going to be, let's see, where is that? It should be hiding up here. There it is. Okay. I sped it up a little bit, so and that's okay because I'm still using the same riff. So check this out. Let's listen to that real fast and see how that worked. Alright, so that's pretty cool, right? I incorporated it into the battle theme of this soundtrack, and that was one of my ideas. And let's take it one step further, and I'll show you how I implemented it again into a third track for right now, hopefully more down the road. Let's load up one more. I know it says piano songs. It's really A Terrible Secret, which is on my YouTube channel as well. So let's load that up. Now for this one, I lowered the pitch a little bit for the sake of the track, but listen really carefully. Pretty interesting stuff yet again. So yes, I lowered the pitch a little bit, but it's that same riff at a lower pitch incorporated yet again. And again, it completely changed the mood, but it's still tying all three of them together. Pretty interesting, right? I mean, you can take a riff from one track and make it work into others. It isn't impossible. It can be very difficult. I've managed to turn it into 3 different parts. It's kind of, the intro, the main theme is a little bit sad. The fight theme is a little more energetic. It has that more old school RPG sound. And then of course the piano piece, that's a little bit lower on the pitch, but it's still giving that feeling. It's more of a foreboding feeling, a little kind of sad. But the whole point of the project is to get that main riff from the main theme throughout as many tracks as I can, because I want the listener to associate that with not just the project, but that's going to be the main character's theme. So if they hear that, they know somehow it has to revolve around whatever's going on with the main character. Well, I hope this video really helped give you a little bit of insight onto how repetition can work in a track or a series of tracks if you really wanted to. If you like my channel and you like this video, by all means, feel free to subscribe, and you'll get updated on all my new tracks and any new future videos coming out. I really appreciate, again, the love and support. I'll put some links to my album on the description and also to my Facebook page. Hit me up there if you want to. I'm always trying to respond as much as I can. And with that, I'm out, and I hope you have a good one.